I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2015 Mound Elementary D.A.R.E graduation. I'd like to start off by thanking the Miamisburg City Schools, the City of Miamisburg, and the Miamisburg Police Department for all their support of the D.A.R.E program, because without it, today wouldn't be possible. I'd also like to thank all the parents and relatives who have joined us today. I had a great time teaching your kids this year. They did a great job, and you should be very proud of them, because I am. I'd also like to thank the fourth graders who are here today. I look forward to seeing you guys in D.A.R.E class next year. Just a quick, brief summary of some of the things we talked about in D.A.R.E class this year. We talked about the dangers of alcohol and tobacco. We talked about making good decisions and how to resist peer pressure. We talked about bullying. We talked about how to be safe with over-the-counter and prescription drugs. And all of them did a great job. It's a 10-week class. We completed workbooks, and everyone you see seated here did a D.A.R.E report in order to graduate. The goal for you guys, though, is to take the information we talked about in class and use it, especially as you grow older and encounter difficult situations. I'd like to introduce our guests today. I've come to congratulate you on your accomplishments. We have from the Miamisburg City Council, John Stalter. From the Miamisburg Municipal Courts, we have Judge Robert Reddick.
Good morning.
And from the Miamisburg Police Department, we have Captain Tom Thompson. All of our guests would like to say a few words to you, and we'll begin with Mr. Stoll.
Good morning. On behalf of the mayor, who couldn't be here today, he sends his congratulations. And on behalf of council, we'd like to thank the courts, the police department, and the schools. And one thing you got to remember, you spent this time to learn, and in the future, when you come upon the decision you have to make, you need to reflect on this time you spent with Officer Doug. So I'll be brief, and with that, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. And Judge Reddick.
Well, first, I want to thank you for coming. It's nice to see so many parents here. Anytime they have to get more chairs for the parents, you have no idea. I want to thank the Miami Valley Communications Council for being here to film this. It's going to run over and over on the public access channel if you want to watch your child get their award, or hear my speech again, or maybe hear one of the one of the papers the children wrote. But I value D.A.R.E a great deal. We are swamped at court, and D.A.R.E works. And I have to tell you, children, there's going to come a time in your life when you're going to be challenged. And what I mean is, it's not going to be the hard light of day like this in the fluorescent lit auditorium. It'll probably be in a dark basement or a car somewhere. You're going to be asked to do something that's not right, that you know in your heart of hearts is wrong. And I'm asking you to man or woman up and do the right thing. Now, your parents have taught you what the right thing is, and I'm sure that Officer Doug and D.A.R.E has talked to you about the D.A.R.E decision-making model, and I'm asking you to use it. Now, it's hard for me to believe that I'm going to talk about heroin to 5th and 4th graders, but it is an epidemic. More people died in Montgomery County so far this year from ODing on heroin than from natural causes. Don't do heroin. The heroin that came out, that's out right now, over Memorial Day weekend, it killed 14 people. They call it toe tag. What idiot could inject something into them that's called toe tag? Don't do heroin. I'll keep going. The mayor's not here, so I'll use up his time. That challenge, you're going to have to say no. If you do that, I got to tell you, you live in America, you're going to have a great life. If you just don't do drugs, don't smoke, don't do things that are going to harm you. If you just make those good, hard choices, you're going to have a great life. Now, if you make those bad, I think that's part of the problem. You may be able to do fine, but that friend of yours sitting next to you, maybe they can't. And I'm asking you to be a really good friend. And with that friend maybe takes the wrong path, you point it out to them. Say, whatever their name is, maybe you ought to think about what you're doing. It's not the right thing. I know it's easy to stand by and be a bystander. You know, maybe I hope Officer Thompson gets into the bullying, but you've got to do the right thing. Now, I'm not going to beat it up. This is a happy day. It's your graduation from D.A.R.E, and you're going to look forward to a great summer, and you're going to go into what I used to call junior high. That's what they called it when I was young. Now they call it middle school, and you're going to start acting more like adults. And I expect you to behave like adults. Thank you for your time, and thank you, parents, for coming today.
And Captain Thompson.
Hey guys. Now I will say the first thing I noticed when I walked into this gym is I think Officer Doug and I could still dunk on that basketball. You guys believe it?
No. Yes. Maybe you.
Maybe me, that's right. The mayor had made a comment in several of the other D.A.R.E. graduations that this is the 21st year of D.A.R.E. I remember actually the first year as an officer, Steve Flicker, I think Les Bryant was younger back then, so he remembers when D.A.R.E. started here. And if I remember right, Officer Doug was, he was in the first D.A.R.E. class. I think he was like 8 at the time. Who believes that? Does he look like he's under 30? No. I'll say this about Officer Doug. First of all, before I tell you about something else, he is a fantastic police officer. He's very smart. He treats people right. He's a good criminal investigator. He's a very good police officer. We really miss having him on the road because Officer Doug is able to thwart a lot of people getting victimized or bad things happening to people because he's really good at what he does. But at the same hand, we're very excited that you guys get the opportunity to have Officer Doug here to teach you. Every morning, almost every morning during the week, Officer Doug and I see each other. And I know how much that he cares about you guys and about how much he cares about the message he's given you guys and you guys and your well-being. So as much as we miss having him on the road, we'll be on the road for a little bit this summer. But for right now, he's absolutely fantastic, a fantastic resource for you guys. You guys are very fortunate to have him, and he's very fortunate to have you. The judge talked a little bit about drugs. And before I'm going to talk to you about bullying in just a second. But as far as drugs, what he says, you have to take it so serious because these heroin deaths are not just happening in Dayton or other areas of Montgomery County that people might consider to be rougher or economically a little bit less fortunate. They're happening in Miamisburg too. Miamisburg, West Carrollton, Centerville, Kettering, all of these places, these overdoses on heroin are happening. As a matter of fact, not only myself has had people that I personally know or family members, but I guarantee there's people that are sitting here right now, and probably even you kids, that has personally touched your life at some level already. So when he says don't touch heroin, don't touch any of them, but that one, that's one that it's a big deal right now. So bullying. Now, how many of you guys have heard the phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but an angel never hurt me? Everybody's heard that? And it is true. When we think of bullying, we usually think about, well, that's not true, but we'll talk about that in a second. When you think of bullying, you usually think about punching somebody in the mouth, or some kid shoves another kid down, or steals his lunch money, or something like that. I don't know what you guys do nowadays, but that's old school bullying. So, but that's normally what people think about. But names do hurt. When you make fun of somebody, it does hurt. I mean, I still remember stuff back from when I was your age, hateful things or mean things that somebody said about me. I can remember those to this day, and you guys will remember stuff too. So names do hurt, and you have to realize that, you know, you are an extremely important person. You're an extremely important person. You're a very important person. All of you guys are very important people individually. Even the fourth graders, you guys are too. So you're all very important, and you need to treat each other like you're very important people. Because when you grow up, you're going to be taking our place someday. And it's not going to be how much money you make and who you have to step on to get there. But the important thing in life is going to be how you treat other people and how you help other people be able to enhance their lives or make their lives better, because you're part of treating them right and letting them grow as a person. And you guys you can learn different ways in D.A.R.E to deal with it. And you know, as police officers, when Officer Doug and I, we've got called, you know, we'll get called to places where somebody's abusing somebody else. You know, it's our job to go in there and make sure that, hey, that's just not going to happen. And we take care of the situation and legally. But as far as you guys are concerned, it's very important if you see somebody, you might not be a police officer, you might not be able to arrest anybody or anything like that, but if you see somebody abusing or talking down to or belittling somebody else, stand up for that person. And, you know, just let them know that's just not going to happen. Now, don't go, you know, physically beat them up or anything like that. But by telling someone, hey, you can't talk to people like that. That's not right. You can do that. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can tell an adult. Maybe they can intervene. But, you know, all of you guys deserve to be able to go to school every day, to be able to go home every day, be comfortable and be happy and be able to be the best you can. And if you see someone messing with somebody else, make sure you stand up for that person too, because you guys have the ability to do that. So, congratulations. I'll sit down now. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to seeing the cool video and all the peace signs and fun you guys are having. So, thank you guys very much.
I'd also like to thank the Miami Valley Cable Council for recording today's graduation. You guys will be able to watch this summer. The last thing the students do, as far as the part of the D.A.R.E program, is they write a D.A.R.E report. Everyone you see it here with the t-shirt on did that. Not only did they write the report, but they got up in front of the class and presented their report. And we've selected a few of them to read theirs today, and we'll begin with Blake Christie.
Do you know what D.A.R.E means? Well, maybe you do, but D.A.R.E can sometimes have two different meanings. One being define, assess, respond, and evaluate, meaning what's the problem, what you could do, what you do, and think about what you did. There's also the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. And if you can answer those 5 questions, anybody can do something about the problem. The other meaning is drug abuse resistance education. I feel that we need to have D.A.R.E in every state because we need people to stop smoking permanently. Imagine if everyone would stop smoking. No more air pollution, no more lung cancer, and more people living. But I have learned in D.A.R.E that smoking and tobacco and alcohol kills people, and car wrecks gives people lung cancer and a gum disease, but it's not only about drugs, it's also about bullying too. If you have alcohol as a child, it will mess up your insides and will mess with your growing. If you smoke, you can get lung cancer, lose your teeth, and it can mess up your gums as well. Tobacco will mess up your gums and your teeth. I know that in the future I will not only remember not to do drugs, but to also remember to hang out with the right people. If I had a friend and he or possibly she said, "Hey, I stole some cigarettes from my mom's purse, do you want to have one?" I would remember what cigarettes can do to me and remember that D.A.R.E taught me to stay away from these people, and I would say no. But I think D.A.R.E was a great thing, and that it should be in every grade. Officer Doug has taught me some great things, and I can't thank him enough, and I dare you to be drug free.
Next, we have Emily Berg.
D.A.R.E. Do you know what that stands for? If you don't, you're about to find out. The D in D.A.R.E stands for define. Describe the problem, challenge, or opportunity. The A in D.A.R.E stands for assess. What are your choices? The R in D.A.R.E stands for respond, make a choice, use the facts and information you have gathered. And finally, the E stands for evaluate, review your decision. Do you know that there is 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year in the U.S.? This is because alcohol slows down the brain and body and causes loss of coordination, poor judgment, memory loss, loss of self-control, and slow reflexes. Most teens don't drink alcohol. Teen bodies are still growing, therefore alcohol affects them more severely than adults. Alcohol goes directly into the bloodstream and can damage every organ of your body. In the United States, it is illegal to sell tobacco products to anyone under the age of 18, 19 in some states. More than 400,000 Americans die from tobacco-related causes each year. Almost 50,000 deaths per year can be attributed to secondhand smoke. Chewing tobacco can cause mouth cancer, tooth loss, and other health problems. Smoking is the leading preventable cause of death in this country. Smoking causes heart disease and has more colds and upper respiratory problems. Smoking can yellow your teeth, cause bad breath, dry your skin, and cause wrinkles. Cigarettes contain nicotine, a powerful addictive substance. There are more than 200 known harmful chemicals in cigarette smoke. Do you know the 5 W's of reporting bullying? 1. Who is being bullied? 2. What happened? 3. Where did it happen? 4. Where did it happen? 5. Why did it happen? If you have all these 5 questions, report it to an adult. If you see someone bullied, don't be a bystander. Being a bystander doesn't help anything. People can have stress all the time, but there are ways to know if a person is stressed. Stress can be caused by frustration, anger, embarrassment, and sadness. Possible actions when you are feeling stressed is screaming, red face, sweaty palms, and crying. You can stop stress by taking a deep breath, punching a pillow, or rest for a bit. It is important to measure your medicines correctly to get the correct dose. Check the active ingredients and all. Make sure you are not using 2 medications with the same active ingredients at the same time. Too much of the active ingredients can hurt your liver, kidneys, or other organs. All of these facts that I have written and read to you in this report, Officer Doug taught me. If it was not for him, I would not know as much as I do today. Thank you, Officer Doug. And remember the rule, say no to drugs and stay in school.
Good job. Next, we have Parker McClain.
In D.A.R.E., in D.A.R.E. we learned many different things. Officer Doug taught us about D.A.R.E. D stands for drugs, A stands for abuse, R stands for resistance, and E stands for educate. We also learned about things individually in D.A.R.E., things like tobacco. Tobacco can hurt your body at the age of under 18. It can hurt your body and affect it a lot. So if someone offers it to you, then just say no. We also talked about peer pressure. If someone pressures you, then you have to speak up. Don't yell at them, but tell them to stop and walk away. Have you ever felt stressed before? Well, I know at least most of us have. If you fall down in front of everyone and people start laughing at you, then you feel mad and frustrated and even more. Those are all signs of stress. If that ever happens, then just get right back up with your head held high. Have you ever heard of the 5 W's? If you have ever heard someone bullying someone then tell an adult. You need to tell them the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. If you do not know the why, then that is okay, but the other 4 W's do matter a lot. Now, have you ever heard of the D.A.R.E. decision-making model? D stands for define, A stands for assess, R stands for respond, and E stands for evaluate. You can use the D.A.R.E. decision-making model for solving a problem. I am going to use what I have learned in D.A.R.E. class to tell others about it and help them make good choices. I pledge to make the good choice in life. If others are making bad choices and are already trying drugs and tobacco, then I will talk to them. I will make the good choices in life, and I pledge to help others.
Next, we have Madison Sizemore.
Drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and smoking, some of the 4 substances that have consumed our daily lives. All the time we hear the news talking about drug abuse, and it's sad to think that that's what our world has become today. We can change this. What are the last 3 letters in American?
ICAN, I can. We can work together to achieve our goals and make our country better. Drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and smoking have a really big effect on people. It makes your mind crazy and not think straight. That's why drinking and driving is illegal, because alcohol takes over our body and we can't control it. It's horrible. There are 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year in the U.S. In cigarettes, there are more than 200 known harmful chemicals in the smoke. More than 400,000 Americans die from tobacco-related causes each year. Most people say they smoke because of stress. Well, why don't you take a bubble bath instead of killing yourself? Most people don't know what these things can do to you. Did you know that alcohol slows down the brain and body? Effects may include loss of coordination, poor judgment, memory loss, loss of self-control, and slow reflexes. Alcohol weakens the heart muscle, reduces the amount of blood pumped to and from the heart. Smoking is the leading preventable cause of death in this country. Almost 50,000 deaths per year can be attributed to secondhand smoke. Nicotine in cigarettes and chewing tobacco reduces the amount of blood that flows to the brain. Drugs have bad things, and it affects how our mind and body work. All of these things are very dangerous. Saying no to these things is the best choice. Don't become a user, be drug-free. Here are some resistance strategies in case you get caught in a bad situation. 1. Avoid the situation. If you know where people often use drugs, stay away from those places. Strengthen numbers. Hang around non-users, especially where drug use is expected. Number 3. Walking away. If someone asks, say no and walk away. Saying no while giving a reason or excuse, changing the subject. You can also use the D.A.R.E decision-making model. D, define, A, assess, R, respond, and E, evaluate. Make the right choice and say no. I hope we have learned how dangerous these things are. I know that our students are smart enough to make a good choice, the right choice. I pledge that I will be drug-free, not just because of D.A.R.E, because deep in my heart, I know that being drug-free is the right choice. I won't let anyone ever stop me. I'm stronger than drugs, and I won't let them get to me. Thank you.
Next, we have Rowan Thompson.
Did you know that more than 400,000 Americans die each year from tobacco-related causes? I learned that in D.A.R.E. Also, chewing tobacco can cause mouth cancer, tooth loss, and other health problems. Don't smoke or chew tobacco if you're under 21. And another fun fact, most teens actually do not drink alcohol. Don't mix alcohol with medicine. It's extremely dangerous. Here are some other things I've learned in D.A.R.E. One thing I've learned in D.A.R.E. is alcohol goes directly into the bloodstream and can damage every organ in your body. There are also more than 200 known harmful chemicals in cigarette smoke. Smoking can cause heart disease and lung cancer. Alcohol slows down the brain and body, and it can cause loss of coordination, poor judgment, memory loss, lost control, and slow reflexes. Almost 50,000 deaths per year are caused by secondhand smoking. There are 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year in the USA alone. Also, alcohol weakens the heart muscle, reducing the amount of blood pumped to and from the heart. Do you know the consequences if you take too much medicine? And there are 2 kinds of medicines. Over the counter. You can buy it anywhere if you have your driver's license or ID. The second one is prescription. You get it from a pharmacy and it's for you only. Do not share it. Now here's what D.A.R.E stands for. This is our D.A.R.E decision-making model. D stands for define. Let's say someone offers you a cigarette and you would define that they want you to smoke. Easy enough. A stands for assess. What are your choices? Your choices would be to say no or to say yes. I hope you will pick no. R stands for response. Make a good choice. Remember, use the facts and information you have gathered. You will respond yes if you are not smart, or you will say no if you are smart. E stands for evaluate. You might not use this one a lot, but we will go over it anyway. You need to go over your decision. Did you make a good decision? Say yes if you pick no to have the cigarette. Here are a few ways I will use the information from the D.A.R.E decision-making model to make safe and responsible choices. Let's say I see some kids about 16, 17-year-olds, and I see them chewing tobacco. They see me and ask if I want to have some. First, I'll define that they are chewing tobacco and they want me to have some. Next, I'll consider my choices, yes or no. Then I'll respond, did you know that chewing tobacco can cause mouth cancer? So no thanks, I'd rather not have mouth cancer. Last I'll go over a response. I made a good choice. So that's my D.A.R.E report. There is another way you can break down D.A.R.E. D is for drug, A is for abuse, R is for resistance, and E is for education. There's one more fact I want you to know. Say no to drugs and stay in school.
Next, we have Lily Kesey.
Did you know that over 525,000 people die of alcohol and tobacco use every year? It's true. Tobacco and alcohol have severe effects that can really harm you. For alcohol, these can be loss of coordination, poor judgment, memory loss, loss of self-control, slow reflexes, and so many others. For tobacco, effects can be dry skin, yellow teeth, bad breath, wrinkles, lung cancer, colds, upper respiratory problems, and much more. These effects can cause many injuries and health issues. I learned a lot from D.A.R.E, which stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education, so let's learn. Alcohol is illegal for anyone under the age of 21 in the U.S. Most teens are smart and follow the law. Others don't take it seriously and drink underage. Their bodies are still developing, so alcohol affects them more severely than adults. Too much alcohol can slow down the brain, leading to a coma or even death. Once you've consumed it, alcohol immediately goes into your bloodstream and can harm every organ in your body, even your heart. Mixing alcohol with medicine is very dangerous. You could get really hurt. Tobacco is also very bad for your body. It is illegal to sell it to anyone under the age of 18 or 19 in some states. Almost 50,000 deaths every year can be blamed on secondhand smoke. Tobacco is in all cigarettes and cigars. Smoking is the leading preventable cause of death in the U.S. The nicotine causes cigarettes and cigars to be addictive. There are also 200 other known chemicals that can harm you in them. Both alcohol and tobacco are considered drugs. A drug is something other than a food that you shouldn't have. If you have too much of one drug, you could be in great danger. You could be in a coma or you could die. Another kind of drug is medicine. With medicine, there's two kinds. There's over-the-counter and prescription. Prescription is a medicine that a doctor gives you, but you can't share it. Over-the-counter is the opposite. You can buy it at a store and share it with your family. Both can be dangerous if you use too much. Another subject I want to go over is the DDMM. The DDMM is the D.A.R.E decision-making model. First, you define what's your challenge, problem, or opportunity. Next, you assess what are your choices. Then you respond. Use the facts and information that you've gathered to make a final decision. Last, evaluate. Did you make a good choice and why? I will use this for many things in the future. The last thing I wanted to talk about was bullying. If you see someone being bullied, then you're a bystander. Report to a trusted adult, or you could call your school's hotline. Use the 5 W's. Who is being bullied? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And why did it happen? That should make some specific details that they could follow. In the future, I could use all of this to make good decisions, and so could you. Remember to use this your entire life to make good choices. D.A.R.E helped me know what to do and how to do it, and it should help you too.
All the students did a great job on their report, and those 6 are just a great example of that. The last group of people I'd like to thank that make my job very easy as the D.A.R.E officers, that's the staff here at Mound. And I'd like to begin by thanking your principal, Mr. Black. And your 5th grade teachers, Mrs. Elson. Mrs. Ramali. And Mrs. Reed. And now it's time for you guys to receive your certificates, and we'll begin with Mrs. Elson's class.
And if we could hold our applause to the end of my class, that would save us some time. And I just want to tell my class that I'm very proud of you. You've learned a lot in D.A.R.E this year, and I hope you use it. And remember to never, ever give up on anything. Right, tug of war people? Right, okay. Caitlin Armstrong. Please hold your applause till the end. Lauren Arthur. Jordan Barr. Casey Bennett. Gracie Finney. Bella Helton. David Coleman. Adrian Hilligus. Madison Johnson. Jacob Junker. Aubrey Lehman. This way. Go shake the other people's hand, Jacob. Go shake their hands. There's Aubrey. Lindsay Marinelli. Parker McClain. Kyle Miller. Thomas Monig. Emily Polly. Madison Sizemore. Elijah Spar. Till Tritt. David Truitt. Krista Whited. And Tyler Winsett. Now let's hear it for him.
Next, we have Mrs. Ramali's class.
I just like to reemphasize what Officer Doug already said, and that you all did a really good job in your reports this year, and it was really difficult to choose, but the presenters did an excellent job. So good job, guys. All right, we'll start off with Muhammad Abu Shama. Thanks. Yosef Almahaji. Shane Barger. Sorry, buddy. Abby Brown. Haley Cole. Gwyneth Deal. Madeline Doss. Kaylee Grossnickel. Hank Haywood. Thomas Hoagland. Danny Howell. Blake O'Brien. Huda Shatewi. Rowan Thompson. Sierra Weeks. Jordan Whittington. Kylie Wilson. Summer Wright. Lily Cassie. Last but not least, Kiefer Riley Johnson. Great job, guys.
Thank you. And Mrs. Reed's class.
I just want to say congratulations to everybody. You did a great job. Aya Almahaji. Sorry.
That's okay.
Lydia Arnold. Emily Berger. Blake Christie. Corinne Cooney. Julian Cradleball. Sammy Freeze. Addie Frymoyer. Eden Hill. Tyler Johnson. Riley Lamb. Justin Puma. Abby Smith. Riley Stegemuller. Brock Stevens. Sophie Trimber. Arlene Ulari. Tristan Williams. Faith Wilson. Camden Wilson. And Molly Witzerman.
Thank you. The last thing we'll do as part of our graduation is I have a short little video of D.A.R.E classes here at Mound. year. Have a great summer. Hopefully, we'll see you next year. And thanks again for congratulations.